Dr. James Wilson had earned tenure at 3 major universities, but he'd never been treated like a criminal for walking through his own campus. When security guard Tom Miller decided he looked suspicious in the engineering building, he had no idea he was about to detain the new dean on his first day. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and a comment before we start to learn more about what happened. Riverside University's College of Engineering stood as one of the nation's premier research institutions, its state-of-the-art facilities and groundbreaking programs attracting top faculty and students from around the world. The 6-story Whitman Engineering Complex housed advanced laboratories, specialized equipment worth millions of dollars, and research projects that had generated over $200 million in federal funding over the past decade. Dr. James Wilson walked through the main entrance of the Whitman complex at 8:45 p.m. on a Monday evening, carrying a worn leather messenger bag and wearing khakis, a button-down shirt, and comfortable walking shoes. At 41, James had just completed his first official day as Dean of the College of Engineering, a position he had earned through 15 years of distinguished research in renewable energy systems and academic leadership at MIT, Stanford, and Carnegie Mellon. James's evening visit to the engineering building served multiple purposes: familiarize himself with the laboratory facilities he would be overseeing, review research proposals that required his approval, and assess the security protocols for protecting the millions of dollars worth of sensitive equipment housed throughout the complex. Tom Miller had worked as a security guard at Riverside University for 5 years, taking particular pride in maintaining safety and order across the sprawling campus. At 38, Tom was especially vigilant during evening hours when fewer faculty and staff were present, and unauthorized individuals might attempt to access valuable equipment or research materials. As Tom conducted his routine patrol of the engineering complex, he noticed a black man in casual attire walking purposefully through the corridors, occasionally stopping to examine laboratory doors and checking his phone. The individual appeared to be studying the building's layout and taking notes about various facilities, behavior that Tom associated with potential security threats. Tom began following the man at a distance, observing his movements and trying to determine his authorization to be in the building. The person didn't appear to be responding to any emergency calls, wasn't accompanied by faculty or staff, and seemed to be conducting some kind of surveillance of the facility. When James stopped outside the Renewable Energy Research Lab to examine the equipment list posted by the door, Tom decided to intervene. "Excuse me," Tom said, approaching with his hand positioned near his radio. "Can I ask what you're doing in this building?" James looked up from the research summary he was reviewing. "I'm familiarizing myself with the laboratory facilities and research programs." Tom studied James's appearance, the casual clothing, the messenger bag, and the fact that he didn't recognize him as regular faculty or staff. "Are you a student here?" "No, I'm faculty," James replied patiently. Tom's skepticism increased. The man before him appeared younger than most of the senior faculty Tom was familiar with, and his presence in the building during evening hours without visible supervision raised concerns. "What department are you with?" Tom asked, pulling out his notepad. "Engineering," James answered. "Can I see your university ID?" James reached into his wallet and produced his newly issued faculty identification card. Tom examined it carefully, noting that the photo showed James in professional attire rather than his current casual dress, making verification more difficult. "This ID shows you as Dean of Engineering," Tom said suspiciously, "but you look pretty young to be a department head." James was beginning to understand the nature of Tom's suspicions. "I was just appointed to the position. Today was my first day." "Sir, I've worked security here for 5 years, and I know all the department heads. I've never seen you before." "That's because I just started today," James explained calmly. Tom's skepticism reached a critical point. In his experience, people claiming to be high-ranking faculty were often individuals attempting to gain unauthorized access to expensive research equipment or sensitive data. Sir, I need you to wait here while I verify your identity and authorization to be in this building. James looked at his watch, calculating the additional work he wanted to accomplish before heading home. Officer, I understand your caution, but I have legitimate reasons to be here. Anyone can get a fake ID, Tom replied, studying the badge more closely. And frankly, you don't look like the other deans I've seen around campus. The comment revealed the racial and age bias underlying Tom's suspicions. What do other deans look like? James asked gently. Tom realized he was entering sensitive territory. I just mean that department heads usually have different profiles. James understood exactly what Tom meant. Officer Miller, he said, reading the name tag, are you questioning my identity because I'm black and appear young? No, sir, Tom replied quickly. I'm questioning your identity because you're in a restricted building after hours, claiming to be someone I've never seen before. And you've never seen me before because today was my first day. The university announced my appointment as dean 3 weeks ago. Tom remained unconvinced. Sir, I'm going to need you to come with me to the security office while we sort this out. James felt his patience beginning to thin. Officer Miller, I've just completed my first day reviewing research proposals and meeting with faculty. I need to finish my assessment of the laboratory facilities. Sir, if you're really who you say you are, this shouldn't take long to verify. James realized that arguing would only escalate the situation. Fine, but I want you to call Dr. Patricia Davis, the university president. She can verify my identity. Tom agreed, though he suspected this was a delaying tactic. He escorted James to the security office, where he began making phone calls to verify the claim. Tom's first call was to the engineering department's main office, but the automated system indicated that offices were closed until morning. His next call was to the campus directory assistants. This is security in the Whitman complex. I need to verify the identity of someone claiming to be Dr. James Wilson, the new dean of engineering. The directory operator confirmed that Dr. James Wilson had indeed been appointed as Dean of Engineering, with his first day being today. Tom was surprised by the confirmation but remained cautious. Can you provide a physical description of Dr. Wilson? I don't have access to that information, the operator replied. You'd need to contact the president's office or human resources. Tom decided to call the university president's emergency line, as James had suggested. 20 minutes later, Dr. Patricia Davis arrived at the security office, accompanied by Dr. Robert Chen, the associate provost. Both administrators appeared concerned about the unusual late-evening summons. Officer Miller, Dr. Davis said as she entered the security office, I received your call about Dr. Wilson. What's the nature of the emergency? Tom gestured toward James, who was sitting patiently in the security office. Ma'am, this individual was walking through the engineering building, claiming to be the new dean, but I had concerns about his authorization. Dr. Davis looked at James with confusion. Dr. Wilson, what are you doing in the security office? James smiled wearily. I'm having an identity verification issue. Dr. Chen stepped forward. Officer Miller, this is definitely Dr. James Wilson, our new Dean of Engineering. I personally participated in his interview process. Tom stared at James, beginning to realize the magnitude of his mistake. Sir, are you absolutely certain? I've been working with Dr. Wilson for the past 6 months during his transition to Riverside, Dr. Chen confirmed. He has a Ph.D. from MIT, an outstanding research record, and was recruited specifically to lead our renewable energy initiatives. Dr. Davis turned to Tom with growing concern. Officer Miller, Doctor, Wilson is one of our most distinguished new faculty members. Why was he detained? Tom struggled to explain. Ma'am, he was walking through the building during off hours, and I didn't recognize him as faculty. What specific behavior made you think he was unauthorized? Dr. Davis asked. Tom realized he was about to reveal the discriminatory assumptions underlying his actions. He was examining laboratory facilities and taking notes. Officer Miller, Dr. Chen said slowly. Doctor, Wilson is the Dean of Engineering. Examining laboratory facilities and taking notes is literally part of his job description. James stepped forward. Dr. Davis, I think this situation reveals some important training opportunities for campus security. What kind of training? Dr. Davis asked. Training on implicit bias and assumptions about who belongs in academic spaces. Tom looked confused. I don't understand. James addressed Tom directly. Officer Miller, when you saw me in the engineering building, what made you think I didn't belong there? Tom struggled to answer honestly. You looked young, and you were walking around like you were unfamiliar with the building. What else? Tom realized he was being asked to confront his own biases. I guess you didn't look like what I expected a dean to look like. And what did you expect a dean to look like? Tom couldn't provide a satisfactory answer that didn't reveal the racial and age assumptions underlying his suspicions. James nodded. Officer Miller, I want you to understand that your assumptions about who looks like faculty or administration can create serious problems for academic freedom and campus diversity. Dr. Davis stepped forward. Dr. Wilson is absolutely right. Officer Miller, you will be required to complete comprehensive bias training before returning to duty. Tom accepted the consequences, though he was clearly still processing the encounter. James looked at his watch. It was now nearly 11 p.m., and he still had research proposals to review. Dr. Davis, I think this experience highlights the need for broader training on diversity and inclusion in campus security. I agree completely, Doctor, Davis replied. Would you be willing to help develop that training program? I'd be honored to, James said. Over the following weeks, James led a series of workshops for Riverside University security staff on recognizing unconscious bias in campus safety protocols. The sessions covered research on how assumptions about appearance, age, and race affect faculty and student experiences in academic environments. Tom Miller completed his training and became an advocate for examining assumptions about campus community members based on appearance. The incident became a catalyst for developing new policies, ensuring that all university community members received equal treatment, regardless of their appearance or perceived status. James implemented an open-door policy encouraging security staff to discuss concerns about bias and discrimination, creating a culture where difficult conversations could happen constructively. 6 months later, Riverside University had earned recognition for its inclusive campus environment and had become a model for other institutions seeking to address discrimination in academic settings. Dr. James Wilson's Renewable Energy Research Program secured $15 million in federal funding during his first year as dean, establishing Riverside as a leader in sustainable technology development, and the Whitman Engineering Complex became known not just for its cutting-edge research, but as a place where every member of the academic community felt valued and respected, regardless of what others might assume about their qualifications or belonging. Because sometimes the most important engineering happens not in laboratories, but in the moments when we rebuild our assumptions about who has the expertise to lead and innovate.